everyone. Bienvenidos. My name is Fernando and welcome to the Service Learning Orientation. So I just want to thank all of you for joining us today. This means a lot to all of us that you're able to connect with us during this long pandemic. And staying connected right now with one another means more than ever. So we just hope that you're all staying safe and reaching out. And like I said, my name is Fernando. I'm a bio major. I have two minors, one in chemistry and community action, social change. I'm also a student athlete, part of the men's soccer team. So, and if any of you have any questions during the orientation, type them into the chat and we'll get to them as soon as we can. Also, we will be recording the orientation for any of the students that could not make it today. Okay. So the service learning orientation has been around since 2004. All of you are now part of this longstanding program here at Dominican. We've had over 5,000 students working with various partners in our community. And just this semester alone, we've had approximately 300 students at one of our most critical times for our community partners. And at the end of each semester, we like to survey our students, like many of you, or most of you, they started out their freshman year, and this allowed them to form a deeper connection in the community and help them understand course content. So what is service learning? So service learning is intentional connections between academic and experiences integrated into academic course, nurtures skills, knowledge, awareness, and applicable to many fields, enhances learning and meets community interests, also civic learning through reflection. So let me share what I've learned from service learning. So let's go back a little bit. Did anybody understand what I meant by bienvenidos? Just type it into the chat, yes, no, and also just how you know, just something quick. Okay, good. A lot of you know what it means, right? But now my question is, most of you said, you speak Spanish, or was it because I went like this? It's a universal signal. So one of my greatest tools and tips that has been is to understand visual literacy. So visual literacy is about language, communication, interaction, and visual media is a linguistic tool in which we communicate, exchange ideas, and navigate our complex world. So I was born in Mexico, but I was raised most of my life here in Nevada. And I came to the US at a young age, didn't know much English. I was supported by many teachers that spoke both languages. And to me, they're my life-changing heroes because they had a big impact on me. As soon as I was able to speak English and write it, I used what I learned to translate for my mom. I've been able to practice my bilingual skills even more with my previous community partner, RotoCare, and now I will be taking these skills to my new community partner, Health Hubs. Being part of the CASC minor and taking service learning courses since my freshman year, I've been able to serve my community from the beginning and has given me a deeper sense of connection and belonging. Okay, now I'll pass it on to Abby.
Hi, so as I said earlier, my name is Abby Gold, and I'm a junior at Dominican. I'm also on the women's soccer team, and I'm a communication and media studies major with a minor in graphic design and community action and social change. I want to give you some background on my experience with the service learning program here at Dominican. So the very first class I went to my freshman year was actually a service learning class. I had no idea it was a service learning class, no clue what I was doing, but I'm very happy I ended up taking a service learning class because I became involved with reading buddies. I went in with an open mind about this process, and by doing this, I was able to gain helpful insight from this experience. I quickly learned that the community is a co-educator and our partners have so much to offer and learn from. I'm sure I learned more from my community partner than they learned from me in all the Fridays I was there. My favorite day of the week my freshman year was Friday because I was able to go to my service learning site. And from then, I have been working with reading buddies ever since. So I'm going to share my screen really quick and I have an activity for us to do. I'd love if you'd participate in it. So let me present this. Okay, so I know a lot of you have done word clouds before, so we're going to do one of those. If you could text 37607 and text AGOLD 185 to that, or you can go to polleverywhere.com. The instructions are at the top of this, and you can answer the question, what is the first word that comes to mind when you think of service learning? Perfect. We're getting some responses, a lot of community. Perfect. I see a lot more community, helping, volunteering, all great words and choices for this. Okay, we'll go for about 30 more seconds, and then I have another activity for us to do. Perfect, thank you. So the big one we can all tell is community, and there's a lot of helping, learning, volunteering, engagement. Those are very important parts of our service learning program at Dominican, and you will learn more from it as you experience your first service learning class, or if it's your second one. So now we have, if it'll go, okay, another question for you. You can text the same number or go back online to Poll Everywhere and respond to the question, why did you enroll in a service learning course? And you can either do A, B, C, D, or E. Perfect. We'll look at some results. A lot of fit my schedule or required for your major. Okay, we'll go for about another 30 seconds, and then we will continue with our presentation. Okay, so it looks like the main reason was it fit your schedule or required for degree, and the second one is to work closely with the community. So thank you so much for participating in this activity. I am now going to pass it to Angelica to go to talk more about her service learning experience.
Hello everyone, my name is Angelica. I am majoring in global public health with a minor in community action and social change. Last spring, I did my service learning with a digital literacy program, a program serving the Latinx parents adapt to remote learning. My biggest tip would be to engage with the course materials in order to be able to understand social issues that are going on in your community partner site. This service learning community is meaningful to me because I was able to find a new career path in global public health, as well as sparking in me an interest to help my community. The need to continue to help the community really pushed me to get a minor in community action and social change. Given that all the courses for this minor are service learning, I saw it as an opportunity to continue to be a part of the service learning community and further develop my knowledge on social issues, preparing me for careers that will contribute to the public good. If you're interested in this minor, you can find additional information on our website.
Thank you, Angelica. And now we're going to pass it to Sylvia to talk some more.
Hey everyone, I'm Sylvia. I'm currently a sophomore and I'm double majoring in social justice and psychology with a minor in Spanish. I had originally come into Dominican with just a psychology major in mind, but once I heard that they had a social justice major, I was quick to jump on it, given that my end goal is to work in law enforcement and to fight and protect for the rights of minorities. A big influence of that is that I'm a daughter of Guatemalan immigrants, so I strongly believe that it's my responsibility and duty to help the Latinx community and other minorities in any way I can to be able to climb the economic ladder and just being able to achieve their version of the American dream. Last semester, I started to work with digital literacy, which I worked with Angelica as well. And I would meet once a week with one of the parents and help them establish the skills needed to support their children during distance learning. And honestly, it was such a great experience. Since I grew up in the canal area, I would have parents come in who used to babysit me when I was a child, or they're like, "Oh, aren't you so and so's daughter?" I'd be like, "Yeah." They're like, "Oh, I know your parents. Like, we're from the same village." I was like, "Oh, that's so cool." And honestly, it wasn't just I was able to create a bond with them and their children, so it's amazing.
Thank you, Sylvia, for talking about your experience. And now I'm going to pass it to Lady to talk some more.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lady. I am a second year global public health major with double minors in Spanish and community action and social change. And a little bit about my service learning experience is I started taking a service learning class my first semester at Dominican, and it has been an amazing learning opportunity, not only to put into practice what I learn in class, but also have unique experiences of my own. As someone that identifies as a native Spanish speaker, it has been very rewarding to interact with parents, thanking me for helping them and their children with schoolwork or even navigating the internet now. I believe many of you, as college students, will identify with me that now more than ever, we need to contribute to the needs of minorities and people of color in the midst of what is happening around us, especially for younger students, because if we think we've had it tough dealing with changes, they've had it even more difficult on their end, which is why this semester we are mobilizing our student body and involving many of your talents and strengths to help with digital literacy family support program for our Spanish speaking community members. So if any student that is bilingual, fluent, or a native Spanish speaker, I encourage you to take advantage of this unique opportunity to really support our local community and empower our local youth and their parents who look up to those of us in college and serve as a bridge to these parents and youth facing difficulty with language, culture, and technology, which is a huge gap that has been widening with COVID-19. So we ask that you please stay for a brief meeting after the orientation to learn more about the program. And if you can't stay, identify yourself in your course. No fingerprinting will be required for this, and your participation will be highly appreciated and valuable, as well as empowering bilingualism. And a quick service learning tip I have for everyone, speaking from experience, I'd recommend to always think outside of the box and get creative when supporting students and parents, especially now with online learning. This has allowed me to always look forward for my time spent at my partner's site and come in open minded.
Thank you so much, Lady. And that was an excellent tip. Now it is time for Shrina to talk, and she's going to explain the different cultural humility models that you will partake in over the semester.
So, hi guys, my name is Serena, and I'm a third year biology major. And like Fernando, I have two minors, one in chemistry and then one in community action and social change. My tip for you guys, especially those who are on the shyer side like I am, is to really reach out and build those connections with your community partner. Like the people that you serve, as well as, the staff or volunteers that work at your organization. Fostering these relationships definitely made my service learning experience more fun and engaging. And it took me a little bit to settle into a new environment. And I understand for a lot of people that might be difficult, but it really helped me understand my community better as I got to know the individuals that make up the community at my former community partner, Health Hubs. And what Health Ups is just a food distribution site, but they also offer a lot of different bilingual services such as zero cost health screenings, physical education, nutrition education, and a food pantry. And of course, these things are different now due to the pandemic. But even so, I really saw Health Hubs grow over the past years that I've been there. And Health Hubs always emphasized this safe and welcoming environment for every participant. And Florencia, who is the program's coordinator, she's really taken action to make this mission into reality. It's one thing to say that we should be treating everyone with kindness and compassion, but it's another thing when you start, asking what their names are, how they are, what they do, if they need any help, or let them know about any resources that they might need. And putting your words into practice is something that I've seen a lot at health hubs. And my experiences have really given me a good idea of what civic engagement looks like. And this is definitely something I'm going to be taking with me as I pursue my own journey into the medical field. And so, about the modules, all of you guys are going to be completing 4 self-paced modules relating to service learning outcomes. And there's also a 5th module. It's just a quick review, but it also has like a lot of the information about our community partners and which community partners that you can work with in your course. And then here you guys see our service learning website. There's a lot of other things on this website too. But going back to the modules, each of them should take about 5 to 15 minutes. And the deadline to complete these modules is January 27th. At the end of each module, there's an exit ticket. And it's basically a form that you fill out, and just to let your professor know that you've completed the modules. And this is all located on our service learning website. You guys are all going to get a link. And there's also a lot of other resources here, like the EDGE Fellowship Program, which is what we are. There's information about the social justice majors, the CASC minors, and also any service learning courses that we're offering for the semester. So if you guys are interested, feel free to take a look. And if you guys have any questions about the modules, just let us know.
Shrina, there was a quick question asking, are all 5 modules due on the 27th?
Yes, I believe they are all due on the 27th. They shouldn't take too long though. And also, if you guys need any help, like with registering for your community partners or logging your hours, we do this all on this website called GivePulse. And so we have some open hours via Zoom if you guys need any help with that. So yeah. And I'll pass it on to Anna, I think.
Izzy.
Yeah, thank you, Shrina. So now we're going to pass to Izzy, who's going to talk about her experience as well.
Hi, my name's Izzy. I'm a second year in the OT program here. I also have got a couple minors in psychology as well as community action, social change. This is my second year doing service learning, and I'm currently working with Next Generation Scholars. We get, at least the program that I'm doing, we're helping high school juniors and seniors through the college app process. I got the most out of my experiences with service learning by not thinking about going to my site as a chore, but as an asset that I could learn from. I did everything I could to make connections, make friends, and challenge myself to look into every tiny little interaction I had with anybody and everybody. Because of service learning and the current events in the past year, I've become increasingly more aware of the injustices in our country and more involved in combating them. And because of this, my service learning tip would be to be as present and engaged as you can when you're at your site. This is going to make your time and participation as valuable as possible to your community and also to your own growth and your own learning.
Thank you, Izzy. And last but not least, we have Anna, who has one more activity for us to do together.
Yeah, so before I head into the activity, I wanted to share my experience with service learning. Again, my name is Annalise. I'm a junior 1 nursing student with a double minor in community action and social change and public health. I used to skateboard to my service learning site at the Ritter Center my freshman year. As I skated from Dominican to downtown San Rafael, I sometimes saw the people who would come into the food pantry. This firsthand experience I saw was completely different to the rest of Marin County that I had seen before. The racial and economic disparities I saw within such an affluent county wasn't surprising, but it reaffirmed me to who and what communities I wanted to serve, instead of which population would pay more. I began my journey here in the service learning program, my spring semester of freshman year, taking an English and an ethics service learning class that expanded my love for community. This service learning program took me a step forward in being a caring and compassionate nurse, looking at the whole person, including their intersectionalities, as I learned how to manage patient care. I think every person comes out of their service learning experience with new knowledge about themselves. You also get to hear a lot of stories, and a lot of people end up making an impact on you, but you have to put in the work to see what I mean. You will have one student, one patient, one client, one person who will make you remember your service learning experience. My tip to get the most out of your experience is to be as present as possible. Become as immersed in the readings as possible. I would get 2 to 3 people you know in your classes, create a Zoom meeting, and take turn reading the assigned readings. Discuss it among yourselves, see each other's point of view, and work together to really understand them. The small reading group can help with learning the hard concepts and it make it feel less intimidating when discussing it. I hope you carry this tip with you as you work through a distance learning semester. But also remember, if we are to learn about a community we don't have prior experience or knowledge about through a book or as a lecture, we will never really figure it out because we are trying to get an answer that can only come from the people in their life situation. Before I leave, I wanted to ask everyone to take a few minutes to write down one way you can remain present in your service learning. Take a few deep breaths and ask yourself a few questions. I'll write in the chat. How do you want the semester to go? Write in the present. Start with I am, I can, I welcome. My light will touch those who need it, and or I'm open to get you started on writing. But this is basically a reflection portion of our meeting tonight. I wrote down in the chat the questions I just said, but we're gonna take a piece of paper, write down or post it with these questions in mind or these intentions in mind, and we'll hold it up on Zoom and we'll take a photo. And once you're done with that, we ask that you have it posted up to our Instagram. I believe we have the handle somewhere. And yeah, we'll just take a few minutes for that to kind of get started. Oh, I see that we're putting it in the chat. I meant we'll write it down on a piece of paper and then we'll hold it up for everybody to see. We did this last semester and it was kind of really cool to see all of the responses, even though we're all very distant from each other. When everyone's ready, you can just put a thumbs up or we can give it 30 more seconds and then. Okay, looks like everyone's pretty much done, I think. We can go ahead and start putting or showing, if you want to put your camera up, your intentions for the semester. Cool. Hey, this looks cool. Nice. All right. So that's it for my part. If there's still anybody who are native Spanish speakers or Spanish speakers, please stay a little bit longer. But now I'll pass it on to Abby for the rest. I'm closing.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you learned something or you now have your aspiration on what you want to do for the semester. I really appreciate you all taking time of your day to be here. And if you have any questions, you can stay after. And Spanish speakers, please stay after as well too. Thank you everyone and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, so we have a question asking if we're picking who we're helping or we get assigned. Most often teachers have a program that they work with or a couple that you can choose from, if that helps answer your question. It depends on the teacher most times, but perfect. That answered the question.
Abby, are there any other questions?
That was the only one I saw in the chat. I think that's, where do we access the modules? Sharina, you want to hit on that one since you talked about it earlier?
We have another question from Samantha.
Yes. So I'm taking 2 service learning classes and I was wondering like how does that work regarding the modules? So do I take them twice or?
No, you'll get a copy of a PDF in your email and you can just load them to both courses.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You just only need to do it once.
Okay.
And then for the person asking about where to access the modules, Lady put it in the chat. So the link is in the chat.
And it should be on your syllabus too, your course syllabus. Anyone else, or should we move on to the Spanish speaking? And maybe I'll make Jocelyn, I'll find. Yeah, thank you everyone for coming, and thank you Edge Fellows for presenting and sharing your perspectives.
You guys were great. Can you take down the slides so we can see who's in the room?
Yes, so let me stop the, okay. All right, there's Jocelyn. Okay, I'm gonna make you, I guess, the host.
Yeah, and can we stop recording for a second?
The recording has been paused.